Welcome, welcome. I see that my camera is not registering, so that's fun. Give me just a second here. I I am a faceless voice. Good stuff, good stuff. You gotta love the technical difficulties of having your camera on, but having OBS not see it. Hi, everyone. I promise I won't be a faceless guy this entire time. Let me just see if I can give OBS a kick in the pants here and get us back going with the camera. The stream may be disrupted for just a moment, but I promise I will be right back. I appear alive, I think. Just checking some of the streams here. Yep. So it turns out that if you do not turn on your camera before you turn on OBS, bad things happen. So I knew this. It had happened to me before, but it wouldn't it wouldn't be a day of this without technical difficulties. So thank you for the patience. I appreciate it. So yeah, it's another one of these things because it's Tuesday. Somehow, against all odds, Tuesday has returned, and we're going back to the original plan for last Tuesday, which is something very much in line with a project I've been working on lately. For anyone who doesn't, maybe follows the streams but doesn't follow the videos, the monthly YouTube videos for whatever reason, or Patreon or any of those things where I talk about stuff that I'm working on but isn't out yet. I've been working on a Final Fight video, and I did a Final Fight video on Scrolling Down the Belt a while ago, back when that came up. But this is a more longer formy kind of documentary style one, kind of like the R360 video, kind of like the Castlevania video. There's some interviews for it, one of which I conducted over the weekend, and it's good. I got some good stuff from it. But I've kind of been recording some footage of both the arcade version and these ports for the video, and I wanted to just kind of get a little more time in with the ports. And I figured what better excuse to stream them than that. I'll head one thing off at the pass there, since someone mentioned this in the chat earlier today. You're not going to see any weird, British microcomputer ports on this. I'm not trying to diminish them, but they're just not really in scope for this video that I'm doing, and so I'm not really going to try and tackle them on the stream. I played them a little bit for the Scrolling Down the Belt I did back in the day, and it's not saying they're not important, but they're just not in scope for me. So we're going to do at least 2 ports today. It's probably the 2 ports people would expect. Maybe a third if we have time. We'll have to see how it goes. The third one might be a little bit more unexpected than the others, but you Final Fight heads, you probably have a good idea of what the 3 might be. Or at least what 2 of them might be. So we're going to get into that here. And then Thursday, we're going to go back to gameplay Harmonies stuff like normal, tie up a couple loose ends there. So I will not belabor the point here very much today, and I will get into our first game here in just a second. Give it a pause. And we are going to switch over, and we're going to do the normal thing where we look at the magazines, etc., all that fun stuff. But we got to play a thing before we can look at the magazine for it, right? So this is the very first port of Final Fight, as you all might have expected, on the Super Nintendo, Super Famicom. I know y'all have played this. I know y'all know this one, right? You gotta. Everybody knows this one. It's infamous for so many reasons. And we're playing the US version here today. Yeah, here we go. Here's sound. Here's our sound. That seems like a pretty good balance, too. We'll let the story play out here. I chose the US version for this. This is the one I grew up with, obviously, and there's a couple fun things to show off in it. But show of hands or show of voices. I guess 2 questions for you. One, who's played this version? I'm sure most, if not all of you. And 2, did anyone play this before the arcade version? Like, was this anyone's like first exposure to Final Fight ever? It was not mine. I definitely became familiar with the arcade version first, but I actually played the arcade version first at a skating rink. I told this story in an interview that I did over the weekend. I wasn't interviewing myself, but even so. But I told this story over the weekend. I'm going to turn down the volume here a tiny bit. And I first tried it at a skating rink. It's an ice skating rink. So they had, you know, it was a skating rink, and like most places were back in like the late 80s, early 90s, they had, you know, a couple of arcade machines in there, and one of them was a Final Fight. So that was cool. I really enjoyed being able to just kind of get off the ice and play Final Fight there. Friends and I played a good deal of that back in the day. Dark Tetsuya, I think this was the second game we had after Mario World. At least that's what I remember when I got it. Yeah. It was pretty similar for me, I would say. I got a Super Nintendo the Christmas that it came out. So what would that have been? Christmas 91, since I'm from America. And of course you got Mario World packed into the box, right? But I got... It's funny, I opened the presents out of order. So my grandmother, who I got gifts from on Christmas Eve, who I got gifts from on Christmas Eve, I opened a box with 2 Super Nintendo cartridges in it, and it was Final Fight and Gradius 3. So I got two arcade ports. I hadn't played Gradius 3. Actually, my first experience with Gradius 3 was the Super Nintendo port. In some ways, that's for the better. So I was, you know, being relatively young still and sort of naive, I was like, oh, I hope that what if I don't get the Super Nintendo? What if she got me the games and I don't have the Super, you know, like, of course I was going to have the Super Nintendo, right? And so the next day, you know, I opened the box from my parents, which was the Super Nintendo. So Final Fight was a big one for me. Even though it has some major flaws, some of which Starlight Midori Land is already talking about here. We got some name changes. We can't have things like damned and Sodom. Those are bad words. We got to change them to Thrasher and Katana. And we also can't have our male heroes beating up on women who are actually Nyuhafu. So sort of like analogous to like a trans woman, basically. And you know, this was the 1990s, the early 1990s. So I think America heard that and they were like, we're gonna make these into guys. We're gonna turn Poison and Roxy into Billy and Sid, as you'll see in a moment. So we had some changes. We had some alcohol replaced by good old soda pop. Yeah, the SNES launch titles were Super Mario World, F-Zero, Pilot Wings, Gradius 3, and SimCity. But Final Fight came out close enough in America to after that launch to where it might as well have been one. All right, so let's credit up here. Crediting up. Now, the version, who should I go with for this first play? I'm gonna go Cody for this one. The version of this game on the Super Nintendo here. Give me a moment, I'm just setting my, okay, that's, shouldn't be. One moment. I have special buttons set for this that I may just load here real quick. I have a very particular configuration I usually go for when I play Final Fight as far as my controls go, so bear with me here. I should be able to load a configuration that I already did. Manage remap files. No, okay, maybe I did this for the Japanese version. You know what? We'll just deal with it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I don't want you all to thrill as I map buttons here. But let me at least get my turbo, my rapid fire here. But yeah, this game, so this is I don't know what hertz this button is. It's just kind of built into my controller. So it's a little bit difficult for me to say. But it's not as fast as Cody's Punch in the arcade game is. That was, you know, Cody's good old Infinite Punch was, you can still kind of do it in this game. Let's see if I can. All right, he's trying to juke me here, so hold on. Going. You can at least do singles there, so you can. It's really pretty hard to adjust to, actually. Okay, all right, you're you're coming right out the gate with that nonsense, huh? Okay. And so I utterly failed at a one coin clear of the arcade version when I did this on stream, I will absolutely utterly fail at this. I'm telling you that right now. It's just different enough from that arcade game to where it gets quite annoying if you know the game well. Enemies do a lot more damage because they're able to show less of them on screen at a time here. And so they had to kind of change the tuning to allow for that, right? Let's see if I can... Yeah, I'm not really great at doing that infinite punch as Cody in this here, because the rhythm is just... It's pretty off. But on the other hand, I suppose it might actually make it easier for some people to do it because the rhythm can be quite fast for him in the arcade game. Even if you don't have, like, you know, super high rapid fire button set or anything like that. Where is he? There he is, yeah. So, like, the arrangement of some of these enemies is the same. The arrangement of some of them is different. Nope, we're not gonna... And see, already, like, so much health is gone. Which is gonna make this a pretty tough run, to be honest. But we're gonna do our best here. And yeah, like, they just have enemies that aren't even in this positioning in the original one. Like, the knife guy there was not in here in the original arcade version. Your first SNES game, Set-Top Games. Wow. What a... And what a first SNES game it must have been, I'm sure. Had you any experience with the arcade version before you played your very first SNES game here? I'm curious. We definitely want the turkey. See if I can get the... Come on. Need somebody who has a little bit... See how... I doubt I'll be able to do an infinite punch on Thrasher right till the end here. See, there's a guy who's supposed to be on the other side of this doorway. You played it a bit in arcades, okay. But maybe not enough to, like... To notice its differences, potentially. We'll do a little bit of throw tactics here. Yeah, it's just so tough doing the infinite punch in this with the rhythm changes of it all. Okay, I mean, 3 sprites on the... Oops. 3 sprites on the screen, I believe, was the limitation. And so it really does kind of show. Like, you have much less of a chance of getting overwhelmed, which is good. But what's bad is that everybody just does a lot more damage. As we're kind of seeing here, like my health bar... Okay, he got himself, which is fun. Come on. Ah! Okay. I was paying attention to Thrasher there. The first boss, man oh man. What a mess. What a mess this is gonna be. No, no you don't. We are not losing 2 lives on you, for God's sake. Yeah, in aggregate, like, oh boy, in aggregate, which one did I play more of? Like, it might have been this version just because I had it at home and I could play it whenever I wanted, right? That's possible. But, I definitely played this a lot. And of course, the bummer, I can't remember if I mentioned it earlier, no 2-player, right? So, like, this game was known for being a 2-player game in the arcade, and guess what? You didn't get that. You didn't even get to pick Guy, unless you got Final Fight Guy, but that came years later, right? I was not a Final Fight Guy owner. I was aware of it, but I did not have it. Because in America, it began life as a Blockbuster Video rental exclusive. Took Capcom a little while to find that second controller port. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. They took their time getting there, but they eventually did get there. But this was, I mean, it was disappointing. Like, my brother and I played this a lot. Like, we passed the controller back and forth and, you know, kind of made the best with what, okay, why did my knife hit not come out there? All right, I just don't know what to expect in this version because I do not know it as well. So I'm being a little extra cautious here. Like, yeah, the Andore comes from that side here. He does not come from that side in the arcade version. That guy lived longer than Andore. Good God. Okay. But yeah, it's like, it's a weird perception thing, I feel like. Like, is this version easier? Is this version harder? It's kind of like all in the eye of the beholder, almost. Because there really are ways in which it's easier and ways in which it's harder. For me, it's like I can't say I would prefer this, or really any of the ports, spoilers, I guess, over the arcade version, because it's just not. It's missing that something with the enemy algorithms not, you know, the enemies not being as numerous and the enemy algorithms not being as sophisticated. Yeah, Poison was Poison's made a good few Street Fighter appearances over the years. Certainly hasn't been in all of them, and Final Fight characters in general have a real... No? What do you mean? Final Fight characters in general have a real... Their history is very tied to Street Fighter for multiple reasons. I mean, of course, this started out as Street Fighter 89. Like, most people here probably know that particular factoid. But, yeah, it's there. And I mean, even if you play Street Fighter 6 right now, right? Your backdrop is Metro City. Like, that's where your story takes place. Oh, no, no, no. No, 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 my friend. I'm afraid not. No, you're gonna jump? Okay. Come on. Kind of do a weak version of the infinite punch there. Oh yes, delicious pizza. Give me the pizza. Alright, who do we got next? And like these guys just like chilling in the middle of the train? They were not there. They were not there at all. Fun with the Hollywoods and the Elgatos. Yep, they're a blast every time. Oh, and speaking of, and of course, we all know the strategy for Final Fight. Stay on one side. Keep all your enemies on one side, right? It's not always easy to do, but it's pretty key. There are a few tactics you can use to do that. You can use Cody's old, you know, his back hop knee thing, which kind of puts the enemies in something of a stun state. Come on, give me some food, give me some food, give me some food, please, please, please. Food, 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 food. No, 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 no. Thank you. Yep. You know, we're doing the old knife shuffle here. That Elgato has some health, man. Look at this guy. He's... Come on. I know you're still there. No worries, Red Spectre. You didn't miss anything. I died once on Damned/Thrasher somehow. I got a little careless with an Elgato, and also you may have stepped away there. I was having camera problems, and I had to actually reset my OBS. Because apparently, if you turn the camera on after you turn OBS on, it just doesn't work. So we had a little hiccup at the beginning for that, so that may have been what you were seeing there. Yeah, honestly, my experience with this version is it's just everyone just does so much more damage than they do in the arcade version, and again, it's because of that, like, oh, we can put fewer enemies on screen at a time, and so they got to be able to do more damage as a result of the fact that they can't overwhelm you, which, like, I call shenanigans on that. Cody was a criminal. Yeah, I guess I read somewhere, I don't know if it's actually true or not, but that he went to jail for, like, not being able to stop street fighting. Like, he became addicted to street fighting, and he just couldn't stop. Let's see if oh, okay, the timing is not the same for Sodom in this version. It seems like maybe it's a little quicker, but that still works. Yeah, it's actually a lot quicker. He has, like, a lot more of a delay. Oh man, he's gonna burn through my lives because of this. Maybe we can do the... Nope, okay, we can't do that. He's still gonna do his nonsense. Maybe we can do, like, stay below him here. Alright, that wasn't the worst Sodom fight I've had, that's for sure. If it's 50% off or less, it does only half the health damage total. Really? Okay. But it's just a throw. Hagar's pie. Oh, that's nonsense. So Cody is really at kind of a disadvantage in this version then. Because his punches aren't as fast. Like, his punches are definitely, like, they're faster than Hagar's, and even in this, but, like, they're slowed down. Go over the car, please. Thank you. But they're still dramatically slower than they are in the arcade version. 40% health you threw him and it went down to like 20, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. These ports all... Yeah, oh my god. Can't say God. That's just not acceptable. That wouldn't be right. Gravity Falls has a reference to it. Interesting. keep you fools grouped up as much as we can here. Yeah, I think I had forgotten at one point that it was Oh My God in the original arcade version, and so it was Oh My Car for so long in my memory because I just played, you know, so much of this version of the game that... Oh God, I forgot you were back there on Dory. Nope, okay, you're not gonna let me get away with that. Great. What? You are just anti-airing me every... Good God, okay. I am gonna be running out my health with using these extra joys here. I also feel like the guys are much more aggressive to walking back on the screen in this version than they were even in the arcade version. Like, they definitely did it, obviously, even in the arcade version, but I just feel like they move back so much more in this one. So much more readily. Even when you do the back knee there. Alright, okay, he is still here. Give me the knife. And I think I mentioned it earlier, but you can't scroll the screen in all the same ways that you could originally. Yeah, you go walking right past me, that's fine. Nobody's getting by. God, I feel like these Elgatos, they just give... No. Good Lord, okay. You're here. Oh, okay, boy, he came in faster than, like... I've ever seen one of those guys run. Holy crap. No, okay. Yup, the barrels do count. That's a good thing to point out. So I guess you can probably game that. Yeah, you can probably game the system. That's a good... I don't know the tech well enough in the SNES version to have really put, 2 and 2 together there, but yeah, that's a good call. So probably keeping barrels on the screen as much as you can is a way to make this a little easier on yourself. And yeah, the Andori doesn't even carry you out here. God, okay. This is gonna be a nightmare. I feel like even with auto fire on my punch button here, it's not quite enough to... Nope. Yep. He grabbed me right out of it. And, like, I mean, to be clear, like, bullshit like that can happen in the original Final Fight, too. I'm not trying to vilify, this port all that much. Like, for what it is and for when it came out, like, it is not bad, right? But it's one of those things, like a lot of ports, right? Like, if you are used to the arcade version, like, you're gonna suffer for not knowing or having some of those things changed on you because you've just memorized the patterns and all that stuff to the point where you just know the flow of the game so well, and then having something disrupt that is disrupting. Disruptive? Disruptive. Alright, come on. See, he even, like, normally from that knee... He didn't that time. I don't know why he didn't that time, but... It's just, things just feel different enough to throw you off. And this is certainly not the first arcade port that I've played that's been the case for. But yeah, I guess in aggregate, it's like it is... It's different, but it's not so different to where you don't get that feeling, you know? This is not gonna go well. Nope. Oh boy. Okay. I do really miss his punch not being that fast, though. I gotta say. Okay, you're gonna flip away from that. Got it. No, okay. Get out of here. Alright, are we Eddie E yet? I don't know how well this is gonna go without me being able to consistently do the infinite punch. It's probably not gonna go well. Can I use the same thing where I kind of spawn him and get him to come over here? Yeah, okay, that didn't... And I probably won't be able to get up and grab him, no. I can probably cross, yeah. See if I can do this a little bit different. We'll kind of lame him out here. Still get the gum. At least if we're continuing on the next stage. That's really all I wanted. And yeah, no stage 4 from the arcade version. It's just not here, sorry. And you can't just back hop here all the way to the end, I don't believe. Yep, they stop you here. So again, you can't scroll the screen in all the ways that you might be used to, which is a little bit of a bummer again for people who have really learned all the arcade tech. But you deal with it. No, sir. No. What do you mean you just crossed me up? What do you mean, sir? We're not doing that. You guys have already, like, look at how much health they've run down just through, like, the stray hits that they've managed to land. It's crazy. And I know I'm not picking Hagar, I'm Cody, but never beat it as a kid. Yeah, I don't know that I beat it as a kid either, to be honest. I do feel that set-top games, like, again, it's weird in the arcade version too. Like, it's definitely in the enemy's favor in the arcade version. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that, like, this is doing just something so insanely different, but, like, I do feel that it's just off enough that it's okay, good. And God, those guys just go running so fast compared to the arcade version. It's crazy. But yeah, just the amount of, like, little, that's gonna hit me. Yep. You can't, this is a thing in the arcade version too, but you can't, nice. You can't, always do your Mega Crash or your Extra Joy or whatever, like, immediately as you're coming off the ground. There's, like, a little bit of a period where you just can't, oh, yeah, by the way, when this game slows down, it eats your inputs. Whether it be a jump or a punch or whatever, like, it will just eat it. So, honestly, that's, like, this game's biggest problem, is that, I would say. Like, the rest of the stuff is learnable, right? It's learnable. It's not ideal if you're a big fan of the arcade version, but, like, you can learn it. But, like, every once in a while during the fight with those fat guys, like, I just ate a jump. So not, there we go. It's a little harder for me to maintain that rhythm. Yeah, way easier for me to do in the arcade version, but if you give it, you know, put me in front of this one for a while, like I can get it. I think this is, which part is this? Okay, this has got to be the, I opened that way earlier than I wanted to. This is probably, oh, it's these, okay. Nice. Are they gonna do the other set of barrels on me? Yep, they are, okay, cool. Come on. Yep, you guys are still there. All right, no, sir. Sir. Yeah, I'm curious if there's other people who played the arcade version a lot before playing this, like kind of how you felt the first time you got your hands on this for any significant amount of time. You know, the story of it being disappointing for not being a two-player game is, of course, pretty universal, I think, right? Like, doesn't matter what country you were from or whatever, like, if you were Final Fight Experience, like, you felt that a few times before playing the SNES port. Yeah, I mean, Final Fight is, like, the more I've been playing all versions of it for this video, the more I realize, like, it's, you know, most beat 'em ups you have to learn, right? That's not a crazy statement or anything, but this one you really have to learn. Like, you really do. See, he should not be jumping back like that when I do the back knee. He really just shouldn't. I got an extra life there at some point. Like, that back knee is supposed to pretty much be your key to getting that to not happen. Oh, yeah. The one thing I will say is that the music in this version, amazing. Like, the thing about the arcade version is, like, the compositions were good, but the music was just real tinny. And so it was slightly unpleasant to listen to in a way, I would say. If I can't back knee to get behind him, what the hell am I supposed to do? I guess just move forward more. All right, we'll do a little Hagar. Like, that back knee is, I wonder if Hagar's backsplash got similar, like, because Hagar's backsplash had even more of a kind of how do you put it? Thing where it's like sucks the enemies in. Yeah, back to the start of the stage. It's not an instant continue. Okay. Me being in the grab didn't iframe that, I guess. Pretty sure, well, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't have. Eating jumps left and right, man, I'm telling you. For every jump I hit, like, it eats. It eats a good amount of them. Come on. Come on down. I definitely know the clear strats a little bit better with Cody than I do with Hagar, though I was working on learning Hagar. Hagar is the character who I really want to learn it with, but, like, he has a completely different set of challenges in any version of this game than Cody does. Come on, where are you? Oh, I see you. See, even, I don't know. I really feel like the backsplash is not what it ought to be, even though it's still pretty good. I should have known. Yep. No, we're not doing that. That's all. We are getting all you fools on this one side. Come on. Jesus. All right. I did not mean to do that. I meant to... Yep. Okay, he can still beat Hagar's. Jump kicks out. And that's the kind of trouble that I have with Hagar too. Is like it's not as easy. Like his punches don't as reliably beat the Andore's charge out as Cody's do. It might be different in this version, but it gives it a little bit of extra layer of, you know. We'll just do the loops there. All right. So if I keep... I guess I can't keep those barrels on screen. They're just there for food refills. Oops. Again, it's eating my jumps. You'll have to take my word for it, but like I was hitting jump there and it just got eaten. Which is just not a good look for this port. Really? Let's do the old Hagar tactics here. I see you back there. No, okay. We're not doing that. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, normally, somebody comes from behind, you do like, one of those, and it would kind of suck them forward in almost, and it just does not seem to be as reliable in this version of the game, unfortunately. That's like kind of the one big advantage Hagar really has, I would say. I guess you just got to do kind of more walking around and maneuvering up and down is how it's supposed to be. Ah, God damn it. I was trying to hit the Super Joy there and it just didn't. Come on. Get out of here. Yeah, I feel like it's a little easier to punch your way out of those situations in the arcade version, and it kind of just goes to hell like a lot easier in this when you get stuck in hit stun from someone in a way that it did not do originally. I probably should have gone into the option and see if I could ratchet up the continues in the lives a little bit too, but oh. Alright. Come on. Oh, they're not sexy. It's not the sexy bathroom in this one. They just say kiss, I guess, on them. It was pretty great in the original. The stalls just had sexy written on them. Very memorable. I get tires here, which hopefully have health. No, I'm not surprised it got cut either. Given Nintendo's wonderful restrictions at the time about what they wanted and didn't want on their platforms, right? Oh, can my punch not deal with those this time? Maybe I wasn't lined up properly. Let's see. Keep you fools grouped as much as we can here. No, no, no. Don't you wander off screen. Yeah, it's like Super Joy, Extra Joy, like it's kinda called different things all over the place, isn't it? Mega Crash, if you're paying more attention to the Japanese side of things. Okay, it still does work. I just wasn't lining myself up correctly. No. Twitch see us in the cabinet? Yes, it's a combined chat in the cabinet, actually. Oops, I wasn't lined up correctly. So you should be seeing the YouTube and the Twitch chat as well, with a little icon next to whichever one you're coming from, if assuming it's working correctly. I will say, though, that they did make... Ooh, okay, you guys were not there in the original arcade version. They did, in a way, make this easier to deal with, though, because this Elgato and Hollywood... I mean, it still kind of is a nightmare, as you can see. Do I do another continue on this? We'll give it one more try. One more try. I'm not necessarily aiming for clears on these tonight, but we'll see if we can. See, that time, maybe just when they're at the edge of the screen or something, they have some kind of an algorithm thing to make them walk back, but when they're a little further away from the edge, it seems like they behave a little bit more like they're supposed to. Maybe it's just my imagination. No. I said no. See? He immediately retreats. But if he's not at the edge, it doesn't seem like it's as bad. Today on TechTweet put the arcade version. Yeah, I mean, we've been kind of talking about it as we went along here, but I really prefer the arcade version personally. I think this is a pretty decent port for what it is, but it's got a lot of differences. It's got a lot of changes. And, you know, your mileage may vary on, like, which one's easier and which ones are harder. But, I feel in aggregate, this one actually ends up being harder in more ways than it ends up being easier, but, again, your mileage may vary. You've got much bigger of a limitation on the amount of characters you can have on screen at a time, which seems like it would be nothing but advantageous. But I don't know. To me, it kind of comes out as, yep, I should not have done that, knowing that he can charge. More jump kicks. We need more. Ah, jump kicks. Okay. Yeah, I saw that charge coming. There's one more of you. Where are you? Come on, come out here. For God's sake, quit camping. Kind of had it going there. But yeah, it's just one of those things where, like, a lot of... If you get used to the arcade game, the differences are like kind of death by 1,000 cuts, you know? And the more I'd been playing it, the more I can't help but notice that. But I've got good memories of it. It was a version of Final Fight you could play at home. And that meant something, I think. Alright, and these guys are just... It's just grapes and a chicken. You can't leave those barrels on screen to keep any enemies off. Again, it ate my jump! Eats inputs like candy, this game. That's how that's supposed to work. Yeah, I mean, if you're just looking for some Final Fight, and you don't, you know, care too much about, oh, how was this versus the arcade version or whatever, like, yeah, it'll still be challenging, but it probably won't do too bad by you. You know, I wanted to check out that MD fan conversion. I haven't done it yet, but I probably should. I probably should actually work that into the video script, too, now that you mention it. I sort of forgot that that was even a thing. Oh, you're not dead. Okay. I assume, Dark Tetsuya, would you say it's, like, more true to the arcade version, or does it try to be more like the Super Nintendo version? Close to the arcade. Yeah, I figured. Pops right. Look at the guy's movement. Look at his movement. He's always had fast movement, but like that movement, I'm sorry. That's what he was doing just there. There were extra characters. Oh, okay, interesting. No, no. What extra characters did they put in? Did they put in what? Like characters from later Final Fights or something? I definitely will have to check it out now that they kind of did more with it than I assumed they might. We might not get to it during this particular stream, Starlight Midori Land. I don't think we'll have time. Nor am I, because that's kind of a rearranged version of Final Fight, so, like, I wasn't going to put it in the video, because it wasn't really attempting to be a port so much. I will totally stream that sometimes with how broken Alpha Cody and Alpha Guy are, but we probably will not be seeing it tonight. We'll just be seeing the more immediate ports. Captain Commando? They put Captain Commando? Alright, I might really have to give this a look then. I am a sucker for Captain Commando. I do not like how quickly they come up on you from behind and That in combination with like eating your jumps, that is fucking nonsense. I'm sorry, it's nonsense. Final Fight MD for the Genesis has Maki from Final Fight 2. It's a good addition. I won't complain about Maki being there. I have thoughts about Final Fight 2 that I will save for such a time when I cover it. But I did enjoy playing as Maki in that game. Maki was a lot of fun. All right, so now if it's the same as the arcade version, I want to be about here. I should be safe from all that there. And then what, he comes from the left the next time. No. Yeah. Yep, stay over there. I'd like to at least try and do a little more respectably this time around, if I can. The import version of 2 enjoyed it a good bit. Yeah, finally co-op. That meant like a lot. Like I remember going to a local video rental store to check it out, and yeah, friends and I had a good time. Just because of the fact that it was co-op alone. Because like back then, especially, like beat 'em ups were just they were so much fun with co-op, right? You just... You camp out back there forever! Forever! I know I'm supposed to grab you, but you just... Every time you walk back so fast. Okay, I'm still... reasonably positioned for that. Oh, what the? Did you all see that? The off-screen knife throw? We're doing off-screen knife throws? I don't believe it. Go on. We're gonna do the knife shuffle toward you. Oh, more? Okay. The off-screen knife throw. I can't believe it. Really? That's Final Fight for you, I guess. How close are we to this? Not that I think I'm going to be able to do Abigail with this amount of life. You see the slowdown? See that slowdown? Holy cow. No, okay! All right. It slows down that way and it just starts eating inputs. It's no good. Come on. Like, forget about doing an infinite punch when it slows down like that, too. Like, it's not gonna work. It's input center jacks. They are what's for dinner. They're getting eaten left and right this evening. On this Super Nintendo Entertainment System port of Final Fight that we're playing here. Cody's inputs. And Cody helps, yes. And Cody helped. We are desperately hoping to reach Abigail, though I don't have any faith I'll be able to. Abigail is my weakest boss in this game by far. Because I usually just get smacked around on this level so much that Fight and Bake almost sounds like an event at a fighting game tournament or something where you have to try and like bake a cake while you also play, you know, Street Fighter 6 or something. I don't know. There might be something there. Come on. For God's sake, like the amount of health they take just off of those cheap shots is absurd. Absolutely absurd. Get over there, sir. A nice sunset. Yeah, I mean, maybe Cody is the jerk in all of this, right? Maybe he deserves to get his inputs eaten. Jake, you're not dead yet. Come on. Get over here. Alright, we gotta almost... There's the Statue of Liberty, so Abigail, please at least give me... Okay, you're gonna give me a sword. It's not exactly what I... Okay, yep, the turkey. And take away my sword. Absolute nonsense. And I can't pick up the sword because it's on the edge of the screen. Maybe when the screen scrolls. Now, is Abigail going to come running on here, or am I going to screen transition a little bit more before he comes on? All right. Way out. There's Abigail. Oh, whoa! Instant! He is the closest to Colossus that we have, truly. I am not... Oh my god, I got an extra life off of it. Just... Okay, yep, he can still beat out jump kicks. No. Ain't gonna happen. Alright. We got up to Abigail. That's gonna be good enough for this one. We're gonna let Cody die. He deserves it for so many of his inputs getting eaten. That's not true. That's not true. All right. Before we move on to our next port, let us briefly take a look. Yeah, I'm not... I can show the guy version real quick. We can do that, but let's take a look at something real fast first. I won't do much on Guy. We'll just kind of show what it is. Because there's a thing that I have prepared that I don't have prepared for the Guy version. Because I didn't necessarily assume I would be doing it. But yeah, it probably makes sense to just show it very quickly. Okay, so... Are we showing our PDFs here? Let's see. We are! Okay. So, this is a very interesting issue of Famitsu. This is the February 22nd, 1991 issue. So, the Famicom came out in 1990 in Japan. Came out later in 1991 in the US. And this is not the Famitsu issue where it covers the launch games, because that would have been like year end kind of 1990. But this is sort of the early, next titles that came out for the Super Famicom. And we've got, it's not what we're looking at in particular, but like we've got Gradius 3 here, which, as I said earlier in the stream, I got that along with Final Fight. And of course, Super Mario World when I first got a Super Nintendo for Christmas. Like they gave this some pretty darn good scores, like 8898. Like that's a good port of Gradius 3. It's got some slowdown, but it's a good port. It's way easier than the arcade version. Like I think there's an argument to be made for Final Fight, right? One way or the other, which version is easier, but I don't think there's any argument to be made that Super Famicom Gradius 3 is easier than arcade Gradius 3. Like that is no contest. But we also had we're still reviewing Famicom games at this point, right? Like we've got Famista 91. Like the Famicom would still have a decently long life ahead of it. And before we get into our Final Fight review over here, what do we got? We've got a bunch of Famicom stuff. Oh, no, I apologize. Not Famicom stuff. Game Gear. So we must have had a slew of Game Gear games that came out around this time, too. I don't know if anyone is familiar with, what is this? Jube Questo. So Jube Quest, which looks like some sort of maybe Yagyu Jubei of Japanese history. Maybe this is an RPG about Yagyu Jubei, potentially. You've got Tarato no Yakata, so like Tarot Card Mansion. Sounds like a thrilling rush of a game that got a 4, 5, 6, and 4, probably about what it deserves. You've got Psychic World, which is not a game I'm particularly familiar with, which got pretty middling scores. And then you've got a Game Gear port of Pac-Man, which, I mean, I guess it makes sense that there was a version of Pac-Man for the Game Gear, but like, were people clamoring for a Game Gear Pac-Man? Oh, was Jubei for the Famicom? I'm sorry, you're right. Yeah, back up. You're right. But these other 3 are definitely Game Gear games. So I kind of mixed them up in my mind here. But yeah, a Pac-Man port for the Game Gear in 1991. So that was a thing that was still happening, I guess. I did not have too many Game Gear games. I only had a small handful. But let's see. When we get into Final Fight here, what did it kind of do overall? First, it's no Gradius 3. It's no Gradius 3, but it got a 7787, so not bad, right? But let's kind of just take a quick look at some of the things they said about it. So who do we have for our reviewers? We've got Tofuya Famibo, we've got Mizuno Tencho, we've got Morishita Mariko, and we have Taco X finally, who I know we were missing in some of our earlier EGM, thinking of Sushi X already. Our earlier Famitsu issues, Taco X was not there yet, but he's here now. So the gist here is that people saying like this shows the graphical capabilities, shows off the graphical capabilities of the Super Famicom, because of the movement and the reality of the characters. You know, these are big character sprites, right? Even in the arcade, you'll see when the Final Fight video comes out, some of the interview subjects I have in there talking a lot about just like the sprite character size was what really drew people into it. And I think that's right. I think that's absolutely right. It's mentioned up here in the blurb as well. Let's see. It says, "Oh, I was able to get pretty far in this just by pressing the right button at the right time." Which seem, and they're just sort of kind of this is a little bit weird, but it was still apparently good enough to give it a 7 just based on how visually impressive it was alone. And of course, you get mentions here. So you can't do. They specifically said Tyson, so like versus, but the original Final Fight never had a versus. But I think they're getting to. You can't do multiplayer. It's like is it? But don't you think this is a good port? Let's see. Anything else worth mentioning? The tempo moves along at a good pace. But in my personal opinion, I don't really like violent scenes that much. But ecchi wa boryoku teki na nandake byosha. Hold on, let me zoom in on what that kanji is. Boryoku teki na byosha wa ammari skiku nai. I've never heard someone write it or say it that way before. You normally say skijanai in there, but ecchi wa ii kedo. So like, but erotic scenes, those are okay. So we know where his head's at here, don't we? Let's see. What else do we have here? Taco X is often the dissenting opinion in these reviews, right? He's often the one who's like, I don't know about this. This is, blah, blah, blah. But let's see what he talks about here. Yeah, based on Spartan X, aka Kung Fu Master, which that's kind of what all beat 'em ups were. Really, really kind of following after, right? Let's see. So it feels very big. It's the two-player play was removed. He's not really saying that anything all that interesting about this version of the port. So like I'd say this is about probably what it deserved. If you'd asked me at the time, I might have put it higher than that just because I was Final Fight on a system I could play at home. Oh my God, this is amazing. Let's just take a quick peek at some of the other stuff that they reviewed this issue, because I feel like this is where the cross reviews in Famitsu started becoming really big. Before this, they were sometimes quite small. What would that be? Something like Akagawa Taro no Yure Resha. So like, if assuming I'm reading that right, Akagawa Taro's Ghost Train. Championship Bowling, which was where are even the platforms on these? They just say cartridge. That's very helpful. Thank you. Thank you very much for telling me it's a cartridge. I'm assuming there's a good chance it was a Famicom based on the portrait there, but it would be nice if they gave a little bit better of an indication there, wouldn't it? Dark Road from Data East. We've got, I'm not sure how you would not read that Oni Oni. There's a different way of reading that, but it's a pachinko game. Surprise, surprise, right? Raisanda. We've got even more. Good Lord, this was an absolutely packed issue. You've got like some shogi here. You've got Max Warrior. Luxade something. Other things that I have not heard of. Mini Putt. What is that? Parasol Stars. A port of Parasol Stars for the PC Engine. And Master of Monster, which was another PC Engine. So it looks like they're largely kind of grouping these. So they've got more Game Boy ones down here too. Yep, that's what we're doing with Famitsu there. So let's do really quick. We'll do some Final Fight Guy here real quick just to kind of show you what their answer to this particular problem was. So we noticed earlier that they did in fact take one character out of the original Final Fight port for the Super Nintendo here. They cut out Guy. I would argue Guy is kind of a difficult character to play to clear the game with anyway. He's probably the most difficult, I would say. I think that's a pretty popular opinion these days. But their solution, years later, was to put out another version of Final Fight that didn't really fix any of the problems of their first one. There was still no two-player. And instead of trying to find a way to add Cody, Guy, and Hagar, a problem they'd solved in Final Fight 2, they had 3 selectable characters there, even though it was only a 2-player game. They just took out Cody and put Guy in it. And here's the... watch the justification. This is amazing. Watch this. They try to story justify this. Here's Guy. What? Jessica was kidnapped. Cody is still in Japan. I guess it's up to me to rescue her. Cody's on vacation. We can't be bothering him. Yeah, I saw this too, but I was pretty into game magazines by this point. Like, I was reading the wider ones. I was reading your EGMs and things like that. And I kind of knew what they were doing here. And so I don't think I really bothered. And yeah, like Starlight Midori Land is saying, like, there are other changes here. There are other changes here for sure. They added a couple new power-ups, I know off the top of my head. I think they changed some enemy placements, and they maybe changed the balancing a little bit. I think it's just tweaks. It's not like a fundamental retooling of the game or anything like that. I got a decent... and Guy can... let's see if... because they do it in this version. Does he not do the wall jumps? They took away his wall jumps in the Super Famicom port? Are you serious? Like, he could jump off the wall in the arcade version, which was kind of his, you know, big allure. It was pretty useless move. You couldn't do a lot with it. Like, it was situational at best. But I can't believe they took it away from him. That's crazy. Unless they've just limited the places that you can do it in this version. Is his infinite punch rhythm a little bit different in this? Because normally he's 3-1, 3-1, unlike Cody, who's 2-1. Why did I throw him that way? Well, I guess it worked out if the guy from off-screen is coming that way. We'll just play like the first level of Final Fight Guy here. Yeah, it might be a thing you have to do on the pole. We'll try it. But I thought you could just jump off the edges of... like, I'm pretty sure in the arcade version you could do it, like, off of there. I probably have some footage capture where I did it off of there, I think. So they must have done some shenanigans with that to limit it or something. Because, like... yeah, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't work. I could be wrong. But I feel like it just doesn't work. Like, what? No! You walked into my grab, man. Come on. Still way harder for me to do the punch in this version with him as well. Alright, let's buffer that for the dudes. Oh, you're not even gonna come running in. Okay. You just kind of leisurely strolled in, I would say. You're much better behaved in this version of the game, it seems. I feel like as soon as you walk up on the screen on those guys, they are just punching you. Like, I don't know, it's just, it seems to me like they just took away so many of the strategies by making them so darn quick to react to certain things. See if I can... Come on. All right, come on. Okay, I deserve that. And yeah, I assume it's the same in this version, but Guy takes damage the quickest out of everyone in the original arcade version, which is one of the reasons that makes him so difficult to clear with. Really? Okay. I thought I was a little more off axis than that. And he doesn't do as much damage as Cody. So... Really? You can't be grabbed from there? Are you joking? Yeah, okay. To be losing a life on this guy. How shameful. All right, so yeah, Final Fight Guy. You can play as Guy now. It certainly is a thing you can do. I don't know if anybody has any strong feelings about any of the improvements that were made in this game, making it significantly better at all than the original Final Fight version, but I kind of don't. I don't think it really fundamentally excuse me. I don't think it really fundamentally made you... Starlight Midori Land is reading my mind here. Reading my mind. All right, let's get this going here. So our next port, I'm going to do something fun with. So we had a port of Final Fight years later, 1993, for the Sega CD / Mega CD. Now, the fun thing about this one is because much like all, well, not all, but most Sega CD, Mega CD games, you got really cool arranged music, like Red Book audio for a lot of them. It's like recordings of real instruments. So you have some really nice rearrangements of these songs. But you also get voice acting, which in my... Not voice acting throughout the entire game, just to set your expectations, but voice acting for the intro. Let me redo my button here. Hold on a second. I believe it'll be this button. Okay. Let me get this going. So we're going to play the US version first, and I'm just going to play the opening scene of the US version, okay? Make sure the volume's good here. I'll actually probably turn this up a little bit for the cutscenes. And I will stay quiet.
Metro City, a well-known crime capital, has been ruled by violence and death for many years. A fact which the newly elected mayor and former street fighter Mike Hager plans to change. At the center of the problem is the huge gang known as Mad Gear. Mad Gear controls all of the major
huge gang. Look at all of them
in the city. When they learned of Hager's plans, they took immediate action to bring this new mayor under their control. Sometime in 1992.
Listen to Hagar's voice.
Hello, Mike Hagar here.
Hee Mr. Hagar. So pleased to make your acquaintance. I believe you know who I am. Don't hang up. We have a little business proposition for you. Your daughter for your cooperation.
Daughter!
And we'll throw in the regular monthly bonus to your salary we offered before.
What? What happened to Jessica? Who is this?
Not so fast, Mike. Turn on your TV.
You son of a... What have you done to her?
Nothing yet, but we'd enjoy the opportunity. Listen to reason, man. Why make your job difficult? Just let us do as we please, like the mayor before you did.
Guy, Jessica was kidnapped.
Jessica?
My sweetheart since childhood.
The Mad Gear must pay.
The Mad Gear must pay.
Count me in.
So, what an inspired voice acting performance, right? Hello, it's me, Mike Hagar, the mayor. Very... Yeah, so yeah, I think you're onto something there, Dark Tetsuya. I think a lot of the voice acting in these early games were like whoever was around, like you just speak English, do the voice. Yeah, and Final Fight CD is said to be the best 16-bit home port, but yeah, it had limitations. It had reduced colors. It still had limitations on the sprites, though they weren't quite as severe as the Super Nintendo one. But let's look at the same intro before we play it, right? Oh. 誰だっけ? Oh, Red Spectra, thank you. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. いらっしゃいませ、クソ野郎。クソ野郎じゃないけど. Thank you. Thank you for the support. And Mayor Mike, hello, it's me, Mayor Mike Hagar. And I would like to thank you for the donation. Okay, let me play the Japanese version here. The Japanese version, you may or may not agree, is a bit better voice acted, I would say. Turn up the volume here for the... button. We're starting up the old Mega CD. All right, Japanese version. Here we go.
Metro City. ここには平和も秩序もない。あるのは暴力と死だけだ。市長マイク・ハガーはシティを正義ある街にするために巨大な暴力集団マッドギアに徹底的な攻撃を加えた。だが彼を待っていたのは最も卑劣な報復だった。
Here we go.
1992年のことである。
私だ、マイク・ハガーだ。
マイク・ハガーだ。
市長さんよ、初めてお耳にかかるな。おっと、切ると後悔するぜ。なんせ娘の命がかかっているからな。何？ジェシカに何をした？貴様は誰だ？まあ焦るね。そこにあるテレビをつけてみればわかるかもよ。貴様！あんたはやりすぎた。街は今まで通り俺たちマッドギアの好きにさせてもらうぜ。これ以上警察を介入させるならジェシカの命はないと思いな。
He didn't laugh in the last one.
Jessica 俺がぶっ潰してやるぜ。なんと卑怯極まりない。拙者も助太刀いたす。待ってろ、ジェシカ。Final fight.
Final fight. I don't think we got that last time either, did we? Yeah, that intro is really just something else in the Japanese version, right?
1965年8月12日生まれ、国籍日本。
You even get narrated intros for each of the player characters, talking about how Guy's nimble and things like this. Like that's above and beyond. We won't listen to all those, but let's see. And the music, I'll try and find a good balance on the audio here to where y'all can hear it and not, be like blaring you out or whatever. Let me do what I didn't do last time. I think I don't want that at all, do I? I want, yes, attack, jump, attack. Oh, I want attack, jump, special. Yes, this one. Super Joy, the Super Joy on its own button. This is what I want. We're going to crank up those lives a little bit. We're going to take advantage of our abilities here. The Japanese version is better than the Western version. We had an animated intro and extra scenes before the credits. Yeah, it is. This is the good stuff, people. Like this part of the game has problems too. It has a time attack mode, which we'll see if I get to it or not. But it's kind of its own thing that only really exists in this version of the game. All right. Now for starters, I want you... Where'd you go? Come on. What happened? Okay, we're just going into the intro again. We don't need to do that. Come on. I want you to listen to this character select music, okay? I'm going to let it sit on the character select screen for a minute. Once I get done accidentally hitting buttons on my keyboard and doing things on other monitors. Come on. All right, this time for real, I promise. All right, listen to this. When it loads. So that bass. So good. All right, maybe if we put it here, still kind of lets you hear the music. Yeah, okay, let's go with that for now. All right, we'll do Cody here too, at least for starters. We still have a slow punch in this game, unfortunately. It might actually be slower than in the Super Famicom one, unfortunately. Okay, it didn't take my control mapping particularly, but that's okay. We can... One second. Let me just change my rapid fire button. Or maybe I didn't map the buttons on the core correctly, is maybe what it was. One second. All right, hold on. Okay, good. That is still on turbo for whatever reason. We don't want that. Take that off. Okay. Yep, now we're in business. Okay. Not the way I wanted the buttons mapped, but I can fool around with RetroArch cores after the RetroArch core stuff after this. See, they're still pretty slow. Still pretty hard to do the infinite punch on, to be honest. At least for me. Like they didn't quite capture that sense of speed with the punches yet again. It's like the turnaround is real. You can't really seem to do it after 2. Yeah, it doesn't feel right as far as that part of it goes anyway. We got the old garbage burger. Everybody loves the garbage burg. But yeah, I don't know. I think people have different opinions on the arranged soundtrack in this, but I really like it. I think it's got a lot of oomph to it. Like, you got kind of that nice smoky feel with this one. This is a cool version. I believe this was T's Music who did the soundtracks for a lot of these games. All right, let's buffer this just in case we... Okay, all right, do that. That's fine. Come on, come on. Yeah, for me, music is worth the price of entry alone. Like, I think I would rather play this version than the Super Nintendo one, maybe? I'd have to really, like, sit down and examine that a little bit more. It's certainly more arcade accurate. Like, it's not 100%, but it certainly is more, you know, closer. You can maybe do an infinite with, like, single punches a little bit easier than I can with... Oh, yeah, I don't think the input eating is a problem in this one, because I don't think this game really slows down the same way that the Super Nintendo one does, at least not to memory. Okay. We're coming right out doing that, okay. Not very friendly. See if I can somehow manage to get through this. Oh, good. At least I didn't lose a goddamn life to Damned or Thrasher or whatever you want to call him. There's still something real funky about the look of this one that I don't really love. But, Sega CD for you, I guess. Did I just take that much damage, or did it not refill my health after... And again, I kind of feel like there's this thing where, like, they don't always behave right at the edge of the screen. Maybe it's actually a skill issue, but, I'm just a little bit in denial here. Let's see, so this should be... I know at least a little bit better what to expect out of this one. This should be... The rhythm of those punches also just makes the you know, flipping them over to the other side just feel just that much weirder. Because you're just kind of not used to it happening in that rhythm. But yeah, no eaten input so far, which is a good sign. slowest infinites ever, I swear, though. Every time I try to do the infinite, I end up getting the shoulder toss coming out, which is a thing. Let's see, so bait this guy off. I feel like, let's see. I wonder if you just have to do it with singles. Okay. I'm kinda seeing how maybe you would do it. Alright, then we should have the... Yeah. Hopefully you guys will just kindly walk into my fists here. Thank you very much. I'm mostly concerned about... Yeah, I was mostly concerned about him. I swear. I am hitting... Alright, give me some food. No, I don't get food yet. Just gonna kind of knife Axel here and hope I can hold out and not lose this life. As I recall, this version is also quite generous with its continues. Much more generous than the Super Nintendo game was. Come on. Pineapple. Yep, I knew you were coming. That, like, did... I guess I took the hit, but... I was gonna say, it did, like, no health restoration at all. Still got the knife guy back there? No, we don't. Okay. Yeah, I feel like that turn at that point just kind of doesn't really do the infinite, but rather just like the, it just turns around and they're not actually, like, trapped in the punch combo. Does it let me get up on the barrels here? Can I do this trick? Looks like maybe I can. I've never tried this trick in this version, actually. Shall we see if it, take a little break here and see if it works? Also, some of the blurp sounds here I took from this game as well.
Jessica!
Jessica! Got,
私はマイク・ハガーだ。
What else can we play while we're in here? We got a bunch of high score girl stuff. I don't know if we got any high score girl fans out here, but this might be the right crowd for that.
Super Street Fighter 2! 来たー!
No, nice, Dark Tetsuya. I figured you might be. I am not the kind of person who, like, rewatches things very often. Like, if I'm gonna spend time watching a movie or a show or whatever, like, I would rather have a new experience than I would watch a thing again. But I have watched that High Score Girl anime front to back, like, I think 3 times? It's just like it's like my warm blanket show, basically. Something about it, I don't know. Like, it has its problems, but I've read the manga. I read the High Score Girl Dash manga, the one about Hiraka. I think there's maybe some fan translations of it or something. But the one that about Hiraka that's been coming out, it's good. It's still around. Last I checked, they have not taken it off of Netflix. It's still there. All right, I know this took a minute in the original arcade version, but like, is this? Now I'm wondering, like, is this actually going to time me out, or is the train actually going to stop at some point? Like, did they throw a monkey wrench in this and be like, yeah, you can ride the barrels, but you're just going to time out? I kind of want to let it get a little closer down. If it does, I guess I'll just try and beat these guys, but like, that's... I don't know. Now I'm kind of thinking it's not going to work. Oh, we definitely got some slowdown there. No. That did not come out in time. Oh, Lord. Okay. Okay. It was a bit, yeah, it was a bit. I'm not gonna do it as a bit in the upcoming Final Fight video, but I'm gonna put it in there, a little bit of it in there as footage for something, just because I love it. Like, I love that you can do that trick. It's so good. I'll have to see if it actually works the same way in this, or if it would have just timed me out. But I mean, at least they observed that the characters can't knock you off of the barrels. That's a good observation on their part. Seeing it go, yeah, the music is great. The music is great. The music is the best part of this version of the game. And yep, Starlight Midori Land is reaching into my mind and knows exactly what I'm gonna be doing. Yeah, the X68000 version, since X68000 emulation is pretty decent these days. Okay, we got anti-aired by him. All right. The bass in this game. Oh, so good. Listen to that. And the keyboard part. Oh, it's so good. Really? Okay, maybe my timing was a little off there, to be fair. Okay. Oh, that was on me. Yeah, they got that a little bit wrong. They didn't quite manage to capture that from the arcade game correctly, I would not say. Of course, he dashed me. No. God damn it. All right, at least this one lets you continue on the spot. Sodom is, like, I don't know how many of y'all know about the whole thing that was mostly a thing in Japan, I feel like, but maybe a little bit here, about how the second boss in Capcom games was, like, absurdly difficult. And Sodom was probably the start of that. That came up during the interview that I did over the weekend with some Japanese folks, where they were like, was it a thing in the West that the second Capcom, the second boss in like every Capcom beat 'em up was like really hard? And I was like, I thought I remembered hearing it, but it wasn't as much of a thing here, I don't think, as it was there, to be sure. Because the same thing happens in Captain Commando, which was you know, kind of like their big beat 'em up follow up after this one. Oh yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty common, right? Like, he was really hard. He was really hard. I definitely got past him. I feel like the... Oh, we don't even get an... Oh my god there. He just comes onto the screen and it cuts. Yeah, I most of the time I died at him on the SNES version, but I definitely did make it past him at least a handful of times. No, okay, you're gonna anti-air me out of that. Good, great. Yeah, this is not... This is one of those uncontrolled runs where, like, the grouping just completely gets away from you. I think I eventually kind of figured out that throwing Sodom was a little bit more effective. And so, but stage 3 was where most of my runs died. Okay, I'm trying to... The infinite in this is really pretty challenging. I feel like even more challenging maybe than the Super Nintendo one was. Okay. No, sir. I will not allow you to do that. I don't feel good about him doing that. And I'm not gonna let you slide. Really? You broke? You jerk. The sign before the bar was called bar in the Japanese version, but the Western versions called it club. Okay. And I got caught in the fire there. This is just going great. In any version, Final Fight is a game that is just, it gets away from you so easily. Like, all it takes is one mistake and things just spiral out of control. Which is not, I would not say a very common beat-em-up thing necessarily. Of course, I go to pick up that knife and he punishes me immediately for it. Immediately. And at least we get hauled off to the cage in this one. I love this song. I think you even get a little vocal in this, if I remember. Yeah, yeah, he reasonably looks like Andre the Giant, I feel like. It's not totally off base, I wouldn't say. I am always a sucker for a good arranged game soundtrack. Like, it's just, it's a big thing for me. Are we not gonna get where's Elgato or whatever? Come on, I know you're coming. Okay, no, he wasn't having any of that. Nope. Nope. And we don't want the what's their heads to come onto the screen from Because if I move it a little bit further, if this is anything like the arcade version, the Orber and whoever else is going to just come running on. Yeah, just like that. Time for the old stabby stab. Come on. It's stabbing time. Cody stab time. I think that's everybody. Pack of gum. No food in those. Stingy. Just got a diamond. It's not like we're alchemizing here. I could see. I knew he was gonna do something if I didn't act on it. I just knew it. Come on, I think there's one of you still alive here. Oh, let's go. Come on. Alright, Eddie E. Again, not being able to infinite punch him too easy. This is gonna be... What? A grab immediately? That should not be. Was he already gonna go into gun? Oh yeah, he's already gonna go into gun. Alright. This is gonna be interesting. Cannot move down fast enough, apparently. These guys are gonna cost me this. Yep. Yep. I knew it. I knew it. All right. At least I didn't have to continue there. And we do have stage 4 in this version. They didn't keep this out like they did in the Super Nintendo game. The line, the safe line is higher in this one. It starts you out like higher. I really like this version of the song too with the organ. But it is still the safe line. If you stay on that line, you're golden. The enemies aren't, but you are. You will not get hit by the fire as long as you don't leave, that line. Slash is really giving me the business here, but, I would like to grab you, but you're not playing on my line. And you're just generally sort of being very difficult, aren't you? To the point where you're just gonna make me push you all the way into the next group of enemies. Jeez. Alright. And now this group of fools. Come on, where are you? You guys come from this way, and then you guys come from this way. Andore should be coming soon from the right. Oh yeah, we got... Yep. Come on down. Okay, you're just gonna chest ram me, and that's gonna be that, I guess. Like I had a little bit of a rhythm going there, but it's just way quicker than you think. And I also feel like it's not a true infinite. Like I feel like he is kind of recovering in there. But I guess it has the same effect, ultimately. Food, please. Come on. Oh yes, I would definitely like that turkey. Thank you. Yeah, that guitar on the song, I don't know. Big T's music fan. Pretty much anything that they did this type of thing for, I'm a huge fan of. All right, yeah, we got you guys. Nope, I don't think so. Okay. Alright, now we should get the Andore and the... Oh no, that's next maybe. Oh no, wait. Is that here? It makes me wonder if anyone did a mod of the arcade game with this soundtrack in it. That would kind of be like the sweet spot for me. Yep, here's what I was thinking was coming. I just couldn't remember the exact order. Come on, come on down, come on down. Irashaimase. No, no, oh no, 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 no. I'm not letting that happen. Unfortunately, while Andore is on the screen, like doing a grab on that slash is somewhat risky. There we go. Come on. Can't quite get the... I feel like I was kind of getting it there. Just a little bit. And then, yeah, it's just the enemies at the door here. No, I meant to do a jump kick and not that. Okay, I guess it doesn't matter because I just get anti-air. Controlling these guys with a knife is always kind of the best outcome until this idiot comes from behind. Alright. We're not having that. Alright, now... This is honestly, like, in a way, I was almost kind of glad that they took out Stage 4 from the Super Nintendo version, because this part, things can just, it's a classic. It's the elevator stage. You know, you gotta have the elevator stage, right? But, boy, oh boy, is it rough. Like, things can just fall apart so quickly here. I still got hit by that, which is crazy. Okay. All right, we're just... Can't even get the Super Joy out there. No, sir. Sir? Please stop your movement. Thank you very much. All right, we do have kind of a delay here versus the arcade version when these guys come down. Oh! Get anti-aired by poison. Jesus Christ. This is, I feel like, going to fall apart, but let's see. I know there is kind of also a significant delay, too, between, like, when the dudes jump down. But, I mean, honestly, even in the arcade game, like, those guys... They can get away from you, and then you gotta be down here for when the knife guys jump. Grab our steak. Ideally, you want to kind of throw them and keep them grouped up here. But, of course, that went south. And Rolento just takes a lot longer to come down. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do against Rolento if I can't infinite punch reliably, though, to be honest. Yeah, it would. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of something they discovered after the final fight elevator was like, oh, we should be able to, like... you know, kick punch enemies off. Because what you're supposed to be able to do to Rolento is get him in a certain part so you can infinite punch him. But I guess maybe in this one you can... Really? Does that work? Alright, now he's in grenade mode, though, so... And I'm out of super joys, so I'm gonna need to... Yeah, because, I mean, when he gets to this point, like, all you can really do is just... kind of hit him with as many of these as possible, right? That's the most effective way to go about it. Because he takes quite a bit of damage from that move. Much like I take quite a bit of damage from grenades! Who will die first, me or him? Me! Because trying to go for the grab on him here is very... Well, I say that, but I just got it. But yeah, I think that's something beat-em-up designers kind of figured out after Final Fight was, oh, wouldn't it be cool if you could throw enemies off of the elevator? You could definitely do it in Streets of Rage 1, in the elevator in Streets of Rage 1. But yeah, they hadn't quite figured that out for Final Fight. You gotta be kind of right in the center of these glass things to get them all in one hit. I wasn't quite in the center there. There we go. Glass broken. All right. Oops. Used to my jump button being there. So I think we can... I can't remember if we can clear all the way back to the phone booth in this version. Looks like we can. Yep, we can. Okay. I think it does actually stop you scrolling there, but it might also stop you scrolling there in the original. And, like, it actually despawned way more enemies than I typically despawn by doing that in the arcade version, which is crazy. No, we're not settling for that. Like, why? Man, these arrangements. I know I keep saying it, but these arrangements are just so good. There's the dog. I think we get guys here. Mighty Final Fight. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've touched Mighty Final Fight, I will say. I'm hitting button. Come on. We'll do a Mighty Final Fight playthrough at some point. I have not played that game in a really, really long time. And I'm not counting that in scope also for the Final Fight 1 video, because yeah, it's based off of Final Fight 1, but it's kind of a rearranged thing. It's kind of like its own thing, right? Did not get the Super Joy out in time there. You get the awesome thing where it just restarts the music, where you get to hear the song just like restarting mid the track rolling over and all that sort of stuff. Anyone left? No. Okay, and so now, yep, we get the giant thing of barrels, but of course I lost a life, so pretty worthless. We'll gobble it all up anyway, though. I think there's some barrels coming here. Or no, this is the... Let's see if the Andore trick works here. So, like, if you get over this, you can actually skip an Andore on the other side of that barrel. He gets, like, stuck. Okay. You sure did punish me for that, didn't you? Yep, give me this. Really? The Super Joy just not coming out there. What? Why did you drop him? There we go. That's what I was going for here. Good lord. No, sir. And of course I get punished for it. Yeah, I just feel like it's more severe punishments in these, even... I don't know, maybe it's not more severe, maybe it's just different, and so I'm kind of flagging it that way, but... I have been playing this... various versions of this game so much. Like, so much. I just kind of fell down a real Final Fight hole. Come on. Come on. And we'll do the thing where we scroll the screen slowly, if it's anything like the arcade version, just to kind of minimize the amount of characters we have to take on at once. There's a knife guy coming up here sometime soon. And they just get to be a real pain in the butt when you've got, like, you know, a Roxy, a Poison, and a knife guy all in play at once. They come onto the screen a little bit quicker in the arcade version, though. Yeah, there's him. Knife these guys as much as we can without scrolling the screen too much more. I had a feeling. Thank you. I don't think that other knife guy normally comes quite that quickly. We got a little bit of a difference there. And, oh wow, okay. I spawned quite a few of them at once. This is going to be hard to control, actually. Doing anything but that. They both backflip at exactly the same time. There we go. Yeah, put me through. Put me. Is it the? Oh, it's the sexy bathroom again. It's back. They brought sexy back. in the bathroom. Slashes, or no, not slashes yet. These guys. 2 Ps. And now slashes and axles after this, I think. Get you guys all on one side here. Nice, that went well. I would like that garbage can, because it should have some food in it. Yeah. Give me my turkey slash. You can't have it. Now the way too long run up to Abigail. Okay. That's how we're doing it, huh? All right. Yeah, even though the enemies have these little isms that are different in this version, it's not bothering me as much as it is in the Super Nintendo one. Okay, punching the fire things away still works. Good. Nice, nice. I don't normally handle that well. Nice. Okay, after all that nice, that happens. It's what I get. Alright, come on. Can I wonder if I can despawn through this like you can. All right, this part. Okay. Okay, this part sucks. This is honestly, I think this is one of the most challenging parts in all of Final Fight, is this whole thing. Because it's just so hard to contain this many of them. Oh my god. Yep, he's gonna... I think I got all of them on... No, I don't have all of them on that side yet. Really? The back step? Oh my god. The back step. He's always got it. Let's see if we can do a more respectable job on Abigail here. And we should be able to get a little bit of the X68000 version in. I probably won't try and do a full run of it or anything, but can we do this? Okay, I put it behind. Never mind. I was initially thinking, okay, we can do the Splatterhouse trick where you carry the shotguns to Biggie Man. Juggle him on the... This guy! He does not want me to have that sword! That's not what I wanted to do. That is what I wanted to do. Alright, Abigail. No, isn't he still back there? Maybe I killed him. Thought he was still camping. Thought we had a Slash still back in that corner. Alright, here's Abigail. I should have super joyed on that one. I'm gonna do... No? Not yet? Okay, I need to react to that better, but this jerk is in front of me. Ah! Okay, that time a jump kick worked, but I don't think that's really a reliable strategy. Nope. I got grabbed first there. Alright, we're gonna use a continue here. Yep, I figured. Nope, I shouldn't have walked in front of him like that. He actually got caught in the punches there. He's not doing very much. I say that, and then he does it. They all just instantly die when Abigail falls down. Alright, let's see how respectable we can do at this one. Oh, won't let you scroll the screen there. Okay, that's fine. I love the, I've always loved the signage in the background there on the buildings. It pops a little bit more in the arcade version, I feel like. But I love a good set of, you know, video game background signs as well. That's always I feel like one of the coolest environmental things you can do. Yeah, right? This is hardly the only game to have it. But anything that feels, you know, lived in or inhabited like that, that's a good touch. I'm a big fan. I just, when I do the infinite punch in this, I just feel like more like I'm just kind of, I'm being much more random about it. No, I was gonna say, I feel like I'm not gonna beat him with that. Come on, super door. Ideally, I want all these guys to be getting up at the same time so I can do better crowd control on them here. Okay, apparently his... Okay, no, it did work that time. Good for him, I guess. Unless that was on Dore. Stay to the right-hand side of the elevator. And then we get in the very narrow, the very narrow-looking elevator here that fits. I mean, technically it fits 2 people because you can go up this in 2-player, but it's very tight ride up. I think right away we're gonna get some more chargy boys here. Chargy boys. Yeah, okay, they were very fast there. Quicker than I could react with a... Can I despawn you guys? Is that a thing I can do? I guess not fully anyway. Kinda, I think I got some of you guys. Of course, the Andori charge. Oh god, 2 of you. Okay. Oh lord. Okay. This is just not good by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. Not really the infinite punch. There was definitely some breaks in that string, but I played this version of the game much late. God, did I even play it on a Sega CD? I feel like I didn't. I feel like I only ever played this for the first time in emulation. Did anybody have any experience this one in like more real time or anything? I feel like it was fairly rare to find a person, and I mean, like, there are many reasons for that, right? Like, A, Sega CD ownership, it was what it was, you know? But, B, I would say, this came out in '93, and, like, more people just moved on to fighting games by then, you know, both in the arcade and at home. Because you had, like, Street Fighter 2 ports and things like that by then, right? So I feel like '93 was not a great time to release a Final Fight port years after the fact and have it, you know, sell much of anything, basically. And we'll we'll look at some stuff in a moment that may or may not validate that. Stories or we actually made it through there on time, which is more difficult to do than it may seem. Of course. We get the slide. We get all all the moves that cause us to burn away all of our big box on Sega CD, selling like 97 or 98 something from Funko Land. Yeah. All right. I know we're close to the ending here, but let me I want to show the X68000 version a little bit, since that's something of a treat. I don't think that gets streamed a ton, even though X68000 emulation is pretty decent these days. Before we do that, let's take a quick look at a Famitsu review for this one from 1993 and see if they agreed with, oops, this is not what I wanted to show. I wanted to show this and this. All right. So we have got Final Fight CD here, and this issue is from April 2nd, 1993, right next to a Doraemon game on the Mega Drive, which looks to be some sort of platformer. Doraemon Yume Doroboto Shichinin no Gozans. I don't know enough about Doraemon to know if that's a thing. Anyway. Final Fight CD, 866 and 3. So I feel like there's probably some feelings here from was that Sushi, or sorry, Taco X who gave that. Let's go up to the reviewers here. Wow, this is quite a oh no, it wasn't. Taco X is not on this one. We've got Hamamura Tsushin, why is the reading for this escaping my mind? Watanabe Miki and what is that supposed to be? Jorujo Chianka. Anyway. Got Dead Dance there too. Dead Dance got reviewed if we're talking about beat 'em ups. Ultra 7, but we're here to look at Final Fight. So Final Fight, we'll look at two of them. We'll look at the highest scoring review and the lowest scoring review. So Hamamura Tsushin, who shockingly gave this an 8, is basically saying that it's just so much bigger than the Super Famicom version. He uses the word, oh, wait, sorry. No, my mistake. He just says it's more well done than the Super Famicom version. And he's right about that, I would say. So like basically you can have 4 characters lined up on screen, and all the details have been paid attention to essentially. Let's see. He says even down to the wrinkle in Hagar's slacks. That's what you could expect from a CD-ROM where you can store a lot of data. So very impressed he was. But we have a reviewer that only scored it a 3, which actually seems like it's a little correcting, overly correcting in the other direction, right? I would say maybe almost a little lower than this game deserved, maybe. Let's see. Just taking this in here so I can translate it a little bit more holistically. Yeah, he actually is, or they are actually saying that there's differences, like significant differences here from the arcade version in terms of like the movement, and there is. He's not wrong. It's much slower. And they should have been able to do this, better, basically. And this would be, kind of a disappointment to fans of the original. So a different kind of perspective on that, right? Probably from someone who is really, really hardcore into the original arcade version. All right, to close ourselves out here, let us, let's see here. We want this. We want this. What do we have here? We're loading discs on a Sharp X68000, which was a Japanese home computer, quite a coveted one, I would say, these days. It's always fun when one of these shows up at a retro convention with, really nice speakers hooked up to it. And it's not quite great in the same way that the Sega CD version was great, but I would say this has some pretty amazing music as well. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, all of them, the Super Famicom music was really good. Like, I think the thing that all of these ports have over the original is it's just better versions of the music, right? We don't have full voices here. Still kind of has a little, tin ear quality to it. Struggle of the Outsider, we were talking about the Genesis version, the Genesis kind of new version that came out relatively recently. I have not personally tried it yet, but some folks on here reminding me that there's some character additions that made me kind of want to go check it out. We won't have time to do it on the stream, but maybe I'll get that one up and running myself, and we'll check it out on a subsequent stream here. But I am very interested in a new, basically a new port of, I've been calling it a port. I wouldn't even say is really completely accurate given that they weren't attempting to just straight port it, right? They were attempting to do more with it. Okay, this is all configuration. Is this buttons? Let's see here. I'm trying to see. That means absolutely nothing to me, so I'm just going to exit and hope for the best. Oh, okay, it's like real. Actually, hold on. I went over to 2P. We're just going to go down there. Okay, I'm just going to get out of this mode here. We're going to game start. We'll do a Hagar for this one. Why not? I'm definitely not going to go through the whole thing here. They even paid attention to the slower, like the burr, 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 like the much slower, like hold on a second, let me set this. And look at that. That, my friends, is much more accurate to the punching speed in the arcade version. So we can't scroll the screen all the way back. This is not an arcade perfect port. It is not. I feel like this was heralded, when retro gaming started becoming more of a thing in the internet age. This was heralded probably because it never came west. It's like, this is it. This is the one. And like, in terms of accuracy, it is better, but it is not perfect. There's things that are completely rearranged in this, as we'll see in a bit, even apart from the lack of the ability to like scroll the screen in certain parts and whatnot. Same home computer. Yeah, a lot of game development was done on the X68000, especially at Capcom, which is why some of these ports were so good. Because they were more like doing it from source. So they could do a lot. And they were probably only just limited by, you know, hardware limitations. Because eventually, like, even if they developed the original Final Fight, the code for the original Final Fight on an X68000, it was ultimately going on a higher spec arcade board, right? Can even, let's see if I can do, I'm not good at doing Hagar's Infinite Punch even on a good day. But we'll see how well I can do it on Damned here in a bit. Oh, really? Okay, you just... Dirty pool. Yeah, okay, you break that barrel. Come here. But yeah, I mean, just in terms of how it looks, right? Like, it's so much more accurate than any of the ports that we looked at here earlier, right? Like, just there's no question. So I can see why this would have been coveted for sure. Let's see. Oh no, that's definitely not it. Come in. Already, I'm sucking at the Infinite Punch for him here. The Infinite Punch timing for him is hard. There's a reason why you don't see it, why you just don't see too many people doing it. It's because the timing of it is just much more challenging. Yeah, it's gonna go back for one more. Oh wow, I had invincibility frames to even get around that. Even get around that fire. That was a much better dam than I feel like I've had this entire night. All right. Gotta turn on, okay, that's you. It's not supposed to just be you that comes onto the screen. That's interesting. Is the other... Okay, this is like a completely different arrangement of enemies. We had like an axle or a slash that came from behind. And that's just not what happened here. So yeah, it's not like, okay, then now there's two. So yeah, it is not arcade perfect. Like, they definitely rearranged some things. And they had to have done this intentionally, I've got to assume. Like, there were character limitations on this one as well, like sprite limitations. Like, they couldn't do exactly as they wanted with the arcade board, but... And to frame this in a timeline, this one came out between the Super NES and the Sega CD port, actually. Nope, I wasn't going to get away with that. Okay. And unfortunately, Famitsu did not cover home computer games, so I do not have a Famitsu review, and I did not dig through old computer magazines to see what people thought of this one. So we're going to go article list for this one. Really? Okay. Come on. Really? Okay. Yeah, I was afraid I was going to end up doing that. Yeah, I was afraid that was going to happen too. Yep. I knew it. I knew it. I could feel it coming. What? Why did you... Alright, come on. I'm trying to get you into... The modern way to play X68000 games outside of PC emulators is Zuiki X68000Z. Oh yeah, the Mini. Okay. Yeah, I've heard of people who got that when it first came out in Japan. The Mister also has a really good X68000 core. This is just using the core in RetroArch now. I have a Mister over here that I could have tried loading this one up with, but there's been a lot of good progress on that. So yeah, lots of ways to play X68000 games that were not necessarily always the case. That's kind of how you do crowd control with Hagar, like when you've got a lot of people coming in front and behind you, like you just kind of do this like kind of thing. And the Andore should be coming right through here, yep. Of course. How dare I? Alright, come out here. I'm assuming that no one here has experience with the X68000 outside of maybe some emulation dabbling. I certainly do not. Like I said, I've used it at a retro show or two. It's always neat when people bring their setups, and I've never seen anyone have Final Fight on it before. But what have I played on it? I've played Pac-Mania on it. I want to say some Cotton game. I can't remember what else. And you can't do the barrel setup here because it's just a different amount of barrels. Like, they completely changed that. Okay. I am just trying to throw somebody here. What do you want from me? I knew it. I knew it. Just reading me. Played one a few times at Long Island. Yeah, I think usually someone brings one to Midwest Gaming Classic, which is coming up in Milwaukee next weekend. And I went to Long Island one year. I was actually there last year, and I played the one there too. Space Harrier with the flights. Yeah, they've got the Bose speaker set up. Yeah, it's a pretty... I must not have been there for when he had Space Harrier going. I have a... It's probably hard to see in the background, but on my bottom shelf there, I actually have the Cyber Stick, the one that's compatible with like the Mega Drive Mini 2 and the Taito Egret 2 Mini and stuff like that. I need to do more with it. Because I really would like to play more Space Harrier that way, but doing it in MAME is like MAME. I probably need to spend a little bit more time configuring it. But like BBH and people like that have more or less corroborated this, that like MAME just does not do too well, especially with Space Harrier and like those type of sticks. Like there's just something kind of weird about the controls. So I might see if something like Final Burn Neo handles it maybe a little bit better. Oh, nice. I'm not going back to Long Island this year, sadly. I was kind of willing to do it if they wanted to have me back as a guest, like they were kind enough to do it this year. But they wanted to give some new people a chance this year, which is totally cool. I'm dropping those grabs, my goodness. So I'm gonna sit this year out. I'm planning a Japan trip maybe later in November, so I'm okay with just being able to kind of save a little bit of money for that. But yeah, I ended up being on more of them than I expected I would be at Long Island. Like there was the book one that Jeremy Parrish was on, which is really sort of what I was there for, and then I think Kevin Bunch and I ended up guesting on one of Diamond Fight's panels, and I didn't guest on Kevin's panel, but I was in the room doing technical support for him, basically. Yeah, shows like that are super fun. Midwest Gaming Classic is this weekend in Milwaukee, and like I'm gonna be tabled there with Enerjax, and I am maybe going to be given a panel. Like the level of organization they have at Midwest Gaming Classic is not good. So I may or may not be doing an R360 panel there, but I think Retronauts is going to be there and Diamond Fight's going to be there, so I think I'm going to be on a Resident Evil thing that he's doing for 30 minutes. Yeah, that Neo Geo one was fun. That room was hot as hell, though. I was ready to get out of there by the time it was done. Like, they had no kind of cooling at all going on in that place. In that room, rather. Not in, and they did in the whole place, but it was pretty darn rough. I can only imagine you all were dying there as well if I felt the way I did. I feel like there was like not even a fan. Okay, settle down, people. Just settle down. So yeah, I kind of hope they do something about that room next year, or this year, for the folks who are doing panels in there. Because it is not fun to sit in there like that. Give me the pipe. Actually, I probably want to grab you, don't I? Good about the pipe. But yeah, I feel like Long Island's a pretty neat show because if nothing else, it's very, surreal isn't the right word, but like it's very fun, like, being in the hangar, like the actual airplane hangar with, all those cabinets set up. Like, that's just a very neat experience that I feel like you can't get that sort of experience anywhere else. And it wasn't, you know, the size-wise, it was very, like, spread out kind of all over the place, wasn't it? Because, like, I feel like I got lost in a couple of those back parts where like the consoles and the computers would just wind around and wind around, and like I couldn't tell where I was in like the you know, in terms of the overall layout. Several times there I would like turn corners and be like, is this the way? Is this how I get out? No, it's not. Okay. How do I get out again? Okay, we traded on that. That's interesting. That's one of those shows where I feel like it depends on what you were there for. Like, if you were there to play stuff and see panels, I think it was a pretty good show. If you were the type of person who was just going to buy stuff, I don't know. It's not that they had no vendors, but, like, I don't know. The stuff they had seemed pretty basic, I guess. I don't know if that's a fair assessment or not, but... Yeah, we got you guys on the... Oh, well, we had you on the same cycle. Not anymore. So these guys don't charge me, because I feel like even in the arcade game, like, these guys have a higher priority on their charge. Like, these two Andores specifically have a higher priority on their charge than the other ones do. I can't prove it, but I pretty strongly feel that way, because they can even get by Cody. Yep, that's what we wanted. Come on. Yeah. Alright, and now these guys. That's gonna scroll the screen. Maybe not as far as I thought. We'll play to see if we can conclude this level, and then I'll call it here. So I've got some thunderstorms going on outside by the looks of it. They totally changed that to a Pepsi. I've not been to too many games or Retro World Expo. I've heard good things about both of them. Of those two, like, not that I will probably do it this year because of aforementioned trip to Japan, but of those two, which one would you recommend more if I were to pick one to go to, say, next year? All right, Eddie. Oh, that's right. You don't like being walked right up on. We gotta, like, approach you at angles and things like that. Oops, we just dropped you there. Good lord, why are we dropping you? Too Many Games is the bigger show. Okay, that's definitely the one I started hearing about first, so I guess that's really not that surprising. Okay. Alright, we'll use one continue to beat Eddie here. What? Why? I feel like I'm dropping him and... Alright. You thought I wouldn't catch you. Come here. Give me your gum. Actually, maybe I'll try a little bit of 4 as well. Yeah, I assume Retro World Expo is the younger of the two because I feel like I only started hearing about that in more recent years versus Too Many Games I feel like I've heard about for like quite a long time now. I don't think Jeremy Parrish of Retronauts goes to Too Many Games, but I think he does go to Retro World Expo, or he's like invited as a guest or something to Retro World Expo. I feel like he's the person who I first heard talk about that. Come on. Where's the party? There's the party. Oh, I got off the line. Oh no. Oh no. Is this the line? No. Screwed. It's hard for me to spot where it actually is. Like I know it mostly because it's the part that they start you at. I might have found it again though. I know kind of approximately where it is, but all right. And yeah, barrels on this side? What the hell? Like, that's just a weird decision. Retro World Expo, Jeremy, Diamond, and Nadia. Oh, they had a table even. Okay, so they had like they were actually tabled for Retronauts. Interesting. I feel like there might be a year at Midwest Gaming Classic where they also had a table. But that, I feel like, might have been a while ago. Yeah, it is not uncommon there for, like, whatever, like, podcasts and things like that to have just, like, tables. Like, Norm, the gaming historian, when he was still active, had a table there one year. That was the first time I got to meet him in person after doing, you know, years of translation work for some of his videos back in the day. Do you go? It seems like you get out to a lot of shows. Any other ones you go to besides Long Island and Retro World Expo, or is that about it? It's Midwest Gaming Classic. I mean, I live in the Chicago area, and so Milwaukee is a mere 90-minute drive for me. So Midwest Gaming Classic is an easy one for me to do every year because I don't even have to pay for a hotel. I mean, sometimes I regret it when I'm coming back late, but I typically don't. Portland? Yeah, believe it or not, I've never been to Portland. I really should. I've heard like nothing but great things about it. Why did I do that? Honestly, that's probably the one I should actually check out. That's just been going for so long, and it's probably built itself up into something pretty crazy by this point, I would imagine. Yeah, it's a pity he stopped. I also saw his kind of goodbye video, or whatever you want to call it. It was and I mean, if I'm being honest, like the reason that I even got probably the idea to do videos and whatnot into my own head was because of the translation work that I did for him. I mean, it was only translation work. You know, it's not like I was making the videos or anything like that. But it kind of got me into my head, like around when he stopped, like before he officially called it off. And thinking like, I don't know. I bet that seems like something I could do. Like I did not particularly have any video editing experience before that, but I was like, I bet I could learn this, and I did at least well enough to make the videos that I make. They're certainly not on the caliber in terms of quality of his videos. He really had a lot of experience in that, and he really knew what he was doing, and he had a lot more people involved in the process than I did. But also, I've talked with him a little bit about this because, you know, asking for advice he's probably the most successful person on YouTube that I know personally. And so I'll ask him things from time to time, and he always says, you know, when I was more active, like YouTube was just a very different place. Like the game was played a little bit differently than it is now, and he's not wrong. Like shorts were not really a thing when gaming historian videos were like very, very active, and like that's, I don't know. I don't want to turn this into like, you know, YouTube creator time or whatever, but it's equally parts thrilling and frustrating trying to figure out like what can make a video hit. And he, you know, maybe because of a product of the time that he came up and less competition and like less weirdo algorithmic stuff, he was able to really succeed, and like well-deserved for sure. But it is a lot, I think, tougher these days than it was when he first started, to his point. Yeah, I won't do Portland this year, but maybe I'll target it for next year. Maybe that would be a good, because it's in like fall, I think, somewhere like that. The TikTokification of every site app really has been a bummer. I totally agree with you. Like I do YouTube shorts, but I don't do shorts exclusive stuff. I just cut vertical slices out of my videos as a way to kind of like hopefully lead people to the real video. That's kind of like my compromise for doing stuff like shorts. I don't post on TikTok. I got real problems with TikTok as a company, and I'm just not doing that. So that's not going to happen. I tried briefly before they were outed as just being real shits, and like I had like no traction there at all. I don't think I'm the TikTok. I don't think I'm the type of person that people look for on a TikTok. I don't really post too much of it to Instagram either. I have an Instagram account, but I don't know. It's just another thing to manage. So, and I've been taking clips here and there of the stream that I keep meaning to cut into little shorts to maybe bring people to the stream, but I just haven't done it yet. Anyway, I am going to call it for myself for tonight. Thanks everybody. Instagram is kind of dead for posting. Yeah, it's totally all reels. I posted some reels, but I mean, they did better than the stuff I did on TikTok, but also I tried, because I think reels are the same aspect ratio. I think they're 1080 by 1920, the same vertical aspect ratio as YouTube Shorts. But for some reason, I tried posting one the other day, and like Instagram moved it down and like did weird things to it that I just need to try and figure out. But anyway, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Red Spectra. Thank you, Starlight Midori Land. Thank you, everybody, for coming to another one. I'll be back on Thursday with more games about Japanese bands and musicians. I think we're gonna finish up the other ending for Nakayama Miho. We're probably gonna look at Noriko on the PC Engine CD, and I think we might be able to get one more in there that I won't reveal which one it's going to be. But heavy metal fans should come for this. So yeah, see everybody later. Thank you as always, and until next time. I can end this, really, I promise. Here we go. Bye-bye.